Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of the Endsieg mod in the 1944 D-Day scenario. So, having defeated the Allied beachhead in Normandy by starving the enemy troops and then basically annihilating them, I redeployed most, if not all, of my Panzer and Panzer Grenadiers and SS regiments, so basically all the mobile troops on the Italian front. And with that, I also mobilized an incredible amount of resources from the Luftwaffe. Um, Things did not start as smoothly as I hoped at the beginning, because not only my planes failed to achieve air superiority, unlike what happened in northern France, but my troops even failed to break through the Italian lines. And to make things even worse, the Allied decided to launch a second D-Day, precisely again in Normandy. And as on the Italian front the first successes arrived, I was like, okay, then it's time to really rush the enemy and push them out of their positions. In Normandy, I was again quite shocked to see that the Allied gained a foothold, and unfortunately for me, they gained a foothold exactly in the province which has the port, which meant that the Allies could receive reinforcements and could pour in more and more troops. Besides some minor skirmishes on the Eastern Front, really nothing new from that sector. But in Normandy, things became to look grimmer than I expected them to look. And I brought up from the Norman coast the whole, from the French coast, the whole 7th Army. But this turned out to be not even enough to prevent the Allies from capturing the port of Cherbourg. So I was like, okay, let's focus first of all on the Italian front, because despite the enemy enjoying a complete air superiority and despite the terrain being, let's say, favorable for the defenders, I was like, I think I need to focus my attention here first. And somehow my Panzer divisions, they could still dislodge the enemy, despite the mountainous terrain. And I think that was also because of my constant support from my tactical bombers from the Junker 188. My troops slowly gained the upper hand. There was an interesting episode here occurring south of Rome in the Anzio province, where the Allied kept reinforcing with using, I think, the very same two divisions, a British and a Polish division. And it took me endless waves of attacks to finally dislodge the British and the Poles from Anzio, from the Anzio province. And I was like, okay, cool, then I can maybe starve the enemy troops there. First of all, I forgot that Rome is the capital, so in terms of in-game mechanics, all the supplies flow from the capital. And second of all, I also realized that in the province north of Rome, there is also a port, basically. So my plan to basically starve the Italian army just failed, and I realized it too late. Still, the second Normandy D-Day landings scared me quite a bit, so I decided to redeploy Hauser 3rd Panzer Group from the Italian front back again to the French front. Because of my endless and insane micromanagement, I forgot one of Hauser's Panzer divisions on the Eastern front, and I was like, okay, maybe let's just keep that unit there. And the plan for the Normandy beachhead was just to use the panzers to reach the province with the port, and then again starve off the Allied divisions. And as things were getting planned and ongoing, the Allied launched a third naval invasion, this time in central Italy, north of Rome. And I was like, I cannot let them cut my 10th army into two. Would have been quite funny though, and yeah. Luckily, nothing of this happened, because thanks to my prompt reaction, I reacted quite promptly, and that's only because I kind of forgot some Panzer and Panzer Grenadier divisions north of Rome, and those units were immediately tasked of charging towards the port of Livorno, which which contained the major and main supply lines for the Allies. In Normandy, Hauser Panzer counter-offensive began in late September 1944, and since the beginning of the counter-offensive, things went more smoothly than I expected them to go. And while in Italy, the Panzer Grenadier and Panzer divisions overrun the Allied defenses at Livorno, they sealed off in a kind of medium-sized pocket the American divisions which landed in Italy, and slowly they progressively annihilated them. Exactly. On the French front, a second attack began, while on the Italian front I managed to extend the front line to basically separate as much as possible the Italian units cut off in Rome from the rest of the Italian mainland. And I can spoiler you that basically in that huge pocket there were all the Allied units which were landed in Italy. I don't remember which Panzer division was, but one of my many Panzer divisions was just rushing south towards Calabria, and then sealing off the enemy from Taranto. Things didn't go so well in Norway, because not only the Soviets managed to break through the thin defensive lines held by the 20th Army, but also the Americans. They landed in Narvik, and they basically cut off the whole 20th Army from the rest of the supplies. For whatever reason, I think because of supply issues, the Soviets turned out to be in a much worse position than mine troops, and somehow they were defeated. And they my troops managed to re-establish a supply line connection. On the Italian front, one fourth naval invasion at Ancona took place. This was easily and promptly defeated by the quick intervention of my motorized infantry units, while in southern Norway, the 20th Army, led by General Vlasov, annihilated and cleared the beachhead, the Allied beachhead, basically. And with the steaming of the panzer units into Sicily, I felt confident that the Italian campaign was again concluded. And yeah, with the fall of Palermo, the Italian Socialist Republic took control of the whole peninsula. There were some Allied divisions in Sardinia, but I just didn't care about them. And to avoid any nasty surprise from the Italian front, I took both the 10th and the 12th armies, and I just told those guys, hold the line exclusively in the ports. Having defeated the landings, the second D-Day in Normandy, I took Paul Hauser 3rd Panzer Group, and I moved it completely on the Eastern Front. The 7th Army was again deployed on the French beach, and at this point I started preparing my next move, which, as you can see from the constant shaping of troops here and there on the Eastern Front, you may guess where it will take place. Before concluding, just a couple of notes. The Americans and somehow the Soviets landed in the Balkans, and Guderian's prompt intervention as always managed to prevent a total collapse of the Balkan front. Once again, a bunch of American divisions were encircled, annihilated, and surprisingly, as those battles were ongoing, the Soviets launched a final desperate attempt to break through into the Romanian plains, but this once again failed. Guys, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Take care, leave a like, leave a comment, and see you all very soon in the next episode.